Good afternoon and welcome to Fox Car Report Live. I'm FoxNews.com automotive editor Gary Gastill. We have one really awesome truck, though, that's available in just about any way you want it. I'm sure you've never seen this before, but keep a lookout for it because it is the craziest looking truck you've ever seen. This is the BREMACH T-Rex, a new heavy-duty vehicle that's being produced out in California, and is available as an electric version, which you're seeing right there. Also heavy-duty gasoline engines, diesel engines, and even a hybrid. With us now is the head of BREMACH USA, Ray Hugenrod, who's in our LA studios in California. Thanks for joining us, Ray.
Hi, how you doing, Gary?
Good. So a lot of people don't know about this brand. Tell us about BREMACH. Now, this is started out as an Italian truck company, but you guys actually manufacture these here in Chino, California, correct?
Correct. It originally was designed in Italy. Matter of fact, earlier you guys were talking about the Bugatti. The design of the vehicle was actually done by Steve Barneau, which was the original designer and was involved in the design on the Bugatti EB1. And so he actually did the design on the truck. It's one of the few, or the only truck or vehicle that I know of that has actually an exoskeleton. And so the frame that you see on the outside of the vehicle, that is the actual frame. That's not fake. I mean, this thing will be able to impact 5 Gs of impact. Not only it's a very unique design, extremely strong, extremely rigid, and can carry 3.5 tons. So it's the ultimate truck. Made
out of lightweight aluminum, I understand, mostly?
No, it's steel, some composite. The main frame is actually a round tube with a square tube mounted on top of it. And it's a very labor-intensive way of manufacturing. However, it makes it extremely strong. It's got a small footprint, but still it is able to carry 3.5 tons and will go anywhere. It will climb a 45-degree hill. It's basically the ultimate, I don't know, call it Hummer killer. It's a pretty extreme duty truck.
Serious looking vehicle, got a little bit of European flair to the design there. Now, how long have you been in business here in the U.S., and why haven't I seen one of these on the road yet here in New York?
We're obviously really new. I mean, as far as being in business, we've been in business approximately a year and a half. So the truck, the cab and chassis is still being manufactured in Italy. And so we've been in agreement with the Italian company that we are the OEM here in the United States. We actually own the name, the logo, the design, everything is owned by us. And then basically it comes in what's called an assembly of parts. We install the final drivetrain, it being electric, hybrid, or gasoline or diesel.
Now, you do have all three of those sorts, and also compressed natural gas, I understand, powertrains available.
Correct.
Now, who developed these? These are a lot of high-tech powertrains here. Is this stuff you're engineering in-house? You're working with outside suppliers? Tell me about particularly the plug-in hybrid and the electric powertrains.
The plug-in hybrid and the electric power was actually developed by us. We did bring in some outside engineers that helped us design and engineer the drivetrain itself. The other vehicle, or the other drivetrain, we're actually using a series hybrid, and we're using a small Ecotec motor, and we're running a 200 kilowatt drive motor and 150 kilowatt or up to 200 kilowatt generator motor. And so all that development got done here in the United States. We developed the 200 kilowatt motor, which is also what's considered low voltage, which is rather unique because in most cases, we're seeing 300, 400, 500 volts, which is obviously extremely dangerous. I mean, you get zapped by 500 volts, you're pretty much done. At a 115, I think you stand a pretty good chance. And it was done for a couple reasons. Number one is that obviously safety aspects. We're talking about, for example, first responders, police officers, firefighters. Obviously it's important that nobody gets killed if they're trying to rescue somebody, or even in maintenance, mechanics. If a mechanic is working on the vehicle, there is a great danger. And on our vehicle, you don't necessarily need a flash chute to work on it. The other aspect that we went to low voltage is because of the fact that the actual manufacturing of the low voltage is quite a bit cheaper. Some of the contactors, the controllers are a lot cheaper to manufacture.
So what's the drawback of using a low voltage setup?
There is a little bit of a drawback that there's probably about a 3% efficiency loss. But what we've been able to do is keep all the components really close together, as well as the motor, the controller is all mounted on top of its own cooling jacket. And so at that point, we're able to cool the inverters, we're able to cool the motor, and there is a little bit less efficient, although it's not phenomenal, but that could be made up by technically adding 1 or 2 extra batteries, and that would take care of that.
So series hybrid setup similar to the Chevy Volt or the upcoming Fisker Karma, basically an extended range electric. I'm assuming the small motor doesn't actually drive the wheels. You're just providing electricity for the electric motors?
Correct.
So what kind of range do you have? What kind of range do you have in electric mode on that version and on the full electric version of the T-Rex?
On the full electric version of the T-Rex, obviously depends a little bit on the drive cycle, but you're looking between 100 and 120 mile range. On the series hybrid, at that point, it could be 200 to 250 miles. Obviously, that's being that it's a range extender.
What kind of applications does this truck have? Mostly as a commercial vehicle, or do people buy on them for personal use? Hollywood types cruising around LA in these big monsters.
It's a mix. Obviously, the H1 Hummer is gone. We definitely have targeted, the group that used to drive, let's say, an H1 Hummer that wanted to be different, special, and there is that segment. This would replace the H1 Hummer, that no longer is in existence. I mean, this would definitely take its place. The other segment that we've really pursued is the fact that the municipalities that are looking for green vehicles, and so it's government, municipalities, and the segment of the H1.
Definitely the biggest, meanest looking green machine I've seen. What does one of these cost though in electric version or in that series plug-in series hybrid version?
Electric about 120, on the series hybrid it could be 145. It is not a cheap vehicle. It is a vehicle that will go anywhere, do anything. On the Exocab, it will actually carry 5 people. It also has suspension seats. It's a pretty neat ride. I mean, it's no lack of attention. You drive it around, people take attention. They definitely look at the thing. Considering
a electric Tesla Roadster costs $110,000, that actually sounds like a pretty good deal.
We feel so. I mean, actually, we're quite competitively priced. I mean, obviously, the batteries are still a little bit expensive, but for the drivetrain that we've developed, which is a PMAC, permanent magnet, brushless DC, that puts out 325 horsepower. It was a very unique transfer case, and it could be used as a daily driver. It actually fits in a regular parking spot. So that's from a standpoint, it's good value for the money.
All right, Ray Hugenrod, BREMACH USA, some American ingenuity tied with some Italian engineering, but you're building those things out in Chino, California. And next time we are out in California, we're going to be looking you up because we have to get behind the wheel of that thing. It looks like a lot
Absolutely,
of fun.
Great.
All right, well, thanks for dropping by. All right, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break.
All right, thanks.
After that, Elio Castroneves, Indy 500, 3-time champ.